Welcome to episode 11 of Motivating Mondays, a weekly podcast and YouTube series dedicated to help Canadian job developers and other employer engagement professionals develop the tools, resources, expertise, and network to excel in achieving sustainable employment outcomes for their clients and students. My name is Christian St. Cyr, National Director of the Canadian Job Development Network, and today we're talking about how job developers and job seekers can focus on value proposition that will speak to employers. Last week I moderated the BC Labour Market Conference, and one of my guests was Brent Pollington, a franchise owner with Express Employment Professionals. In providing suggestions about better engaging employers, Pollington said that job seekers need to appreciate the challenges that employers face. Job seekers need to understand the value proposition or the value they bring to an employer that makes them a better candidate than any other the employer might be considering. According to Pollington, the average job seeker doesn't understand the basic math and science of running a business. According to him, the business needs to be profitable, and if the business isn't profitable, the job doesn't exist. He believes that most job seekers approach job search seeing the personal benefits of the job to themselves, but not framing the opportunity around what they can do for the employer. This speaks volumes about how people write resumes, cover letters, and how they conduct themselves in an interview. To accomplish this end, the job seeker needs to look at the job posting, consider how the responsibilities fit with the success of the organization, and what they can personally do to contribute to each one of these responsibilities. When Pollington presents candidates to potential employers or clients that he's working with, he's talking about the value each person brings to the operation. He argues that each person needs to generate at least 300% of their salary for the organization to justify their position. Now, certainly a salesperson might be able to do this, but how can an administrator or a receptionist generate money for the organization? Pollington notes that an executive assistant makes their manager more productive, freeing up their time to grow the business. The receptionist is what he calls the ambassador of first impressions. That gives people the confidence to do business with the company. He even argues that janitors are working to create an atmosphere that garners respect, confidence, and a productive workspace. Now, if we put a career development lens on this idea, how are individual staff members growing the bottom line? Well, certainly career center managers and directors are applying for contracts and attracting clients, which demonstrates the success of the organization. Job developers and other employer engagement professionals are expected to assist with a certain number of individuals in achieving employment or work placement outcomes. For many programs, job developers are literally compensated, well, the job developers aren't, but the Career Center is literally compensated based on the number of people who achieve employment outcomes. But what about case managers and facilitators and resource room advisors? How can they demonstrate a 300% value in their work? Well, for career development organizations that win a contract to provide a career service or services for a particular period of time, the math might be different, but the proposition is the same. Client outcomes are currency. Whether it's employment outcomes, client starts, workshops completed, resumes developed, interventions, or attendance. These are the benchmarks of success and future contracts. Managers help achieve these goals with the best use of resources such as staff and services and interventions. Job developers achieve this through placements of individuals and developing strong relationships with employers. Case managers or employment counselors or career advisors achieve this through supportive engagement and effective action plan development. Facilitators achieve this by developing learning outcomes that have the greatest impact on client outcomes. Resource room advisors achieve this not only by effectively using their literal resources, but also by speaking about how an organization can best assist individuals in achieving career success. One positive interaction with a resource room advisor can generate multiple points of client success, while a poor resource room visit can lose multiple clients in a single month. It's not as though every position generates dollars, and it can be confusing as to whether someone is personally generating 300% of their salary. But when everyone is working together to achieve the organizational goals, this is working as it should. Now, this is the basic math and science of job search that Paulington thinks that job seekers are missing. When preparing a cover letter, or completing a job application, or participating in an interview, to have statements that discuss contribution to this broader goal. So say, for instance, instead of using a generic statement such as experienced in using the full suite of Microsoft applications, a job seeker might state, utilized Excel to keep detailed records of customer interactions and Outlook to reach out to customers at a predetermined time who have purchased within the past 6 months. Very specific, speaks to the goals of the organization. Now, job seekers should start with anything that they can find out about the mission of the organization. This includes values, objectives, mission statements. They should be carefully reading the About Us and the Careers section of a company's website and speaking to those objectives. Now, while a mission statement can be pretty generic, coupling this with the basic goals of any other organization in their sector can be valuable. So say, for instance, you're working with a client who wants to find work in insurance. And that organization, and an organization that they're applying to, might write customer care as one of their foremost values. And if they're working in the insurance sector, the statement might look like, I believe that taking care of customers is a key driver in long-term business relationships. If I really know my customers and remember their details, I can make insurance recommendations that are not only going to serve them well, but ensure that we're not missing out on any product that they could benefit from. Speaks very specifically to the goal of the organization. This advice of the value proposition helps us understand the danger of the I proposition. Job seekers regularly use phrases that start with I want, I need, I won't, I can't. To be clear, I believe a job seeker should have clear expectations and should negotiate the best opportunity possible. But job search and interviewing are well before we reach this phase, and they need to speak the employer's language. It's hard to avoid the word I, but it does open up the opportunity to ask clarifying questions and speak to how they can make a contribution. Now, in reading this or sharing this, much of what we're talking about is focused on your clients or your students and how they can best present themselves. But I believe this is just as valuable for job seekers or job developers. This is why I place such a priority on discovery, and why the sales sector does this well. Discovery of the challenges that the employer is facing. By asking probative questions about the challenges of the business, problems with recruitment, and their goals for the future, a job developer can make suggestions on potential clients and other supports that will solve those problems. This is why I so often draw correlations between sales and job development. Salespeople are selling products and services. Job developers are selling candidates. In both cases, they are problem solvers. If we don't understand the problem, we can't suggest the solution. At least we can't suggest a solution in terms that the employer will understand. And I believe that is our value proposition. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please click on the like or subscribe button in the platform. We'd also love it if you could rate or review this podcast. We do these sessions live and for free every Monday morning with job developers from across Canada, and we'd love it if you could join us. Just click on go to jobdevelopment.org to learn more. If you have any questions or concerns, please send us an email at info@jobdevelopment.org. Thank you so much for your time. Have an amazing week.